All right, guys, good morning and welcome back to Edge Over Action. Hope everyone's having a great start to their day. Just a quick recap on yesterday. We had three MLB breakdown games. We had Red Sox at Rockies, which we passed on. We had Athletics at Giants, and we took Athletics first five money line. We bet on that one. Unfortunately, it pushed, but we got our money back. So we're even on the slate. And then we took Diamondbacks at Cardinals, which we passed. So, like I said, I'd much rather get my money back than lose it. Today's a new day. We move forward. We look at the slate. We break everything down. We put the stress tests, and then we bet or pass. Before we get into today's slate, quick disclaimer. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Sports betting involves risk, and I am not responsible for any losses, bad beats, line movements, or decisions you make with your own bankroll. Always bet responsibly, only bet what you can afford to lose, and follow the laws where you live. Now, if you enjoy disciplined sports betting content, MLB Slate breakdowns, market reads, simulations, and real bet or pass decisions, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the daily card. Here's how we do things here on Edge Over Actions. We do not start with the picks, we start with the board. First, we scan the full slate. We look for weather flags, pitching volatility, strange line movement, public money splits, sharp money signals, bullpen fatigue, travel spots, lineup risk, and games that may actually be worth modeling. Second, we build a short list. Not every game deserves action. Most games are passes. We are only looking for the games where the market might have made a mistake. Third, we read the market before the model. We want to know where the line opened, where it moved, who the public is betting, where the money is showing, and whether the move looks like real steam or fake steam. Fourth, we run the baseball model. That gives us projected scores, win percentages, fair lines, total probabilities, first five edges, and possible mispriced markets. Fifth, we stress test everything. We ask, what makes this bet completely wrong? What if the starter is worse than expected? What if the bullpen is tired? And what if the weather edge disappears? What if the market side is not a trap and the market is right? We need to know these questions, okay? And then finally, we make that call. Better pass, baby. No leans, no maybes, and no forced plays. And one more important rule, we're not about building parlays here. We're not trying to get rich off one lottery ticket. This channel is about growing the account with disciplined straight bets and bankroll protection. Parlays are fun, guys, but they are not the foundation of this process. And before we start the scan, hit that like button if you want more daily MLB breakdowns. So here it is. Let's get into today's board. All right, guys, now let's get into today's MLB slate with our pregame scan. First one that came up was Cubs at Mets. The Cubs just swept the Mets in a doubleheader, so this is a momentum versus market trap spot. We just need to know whether the market is overreacting to the Cubs or the Mets are just justifiably being faded, which I think they're being faded. The Mets suck. That's just my opinion. So we'll put it to the stress test and we'll find out. Next game, we got Diamondbacks at Cardinals. Zach Gallen's name still carries respect, but the current form is not ace level. The question is whether the market downgrade is fair or just too aggressive. Next, we have Yankees at Red Sox, and originally I was going to just pass on this one, but pre-scan and everything else that I have is saying take a look at this game. It's a big brand favorite. There's a lot of rivalry tags and a low total at Fenway. Yankees have the stronger starter profile with their pitcher, but the Yankees' price may already be inflated by brand and public interest. Next, we have Rangers at Blue Jays. All right. Similar starter ERAs, but Toronto is priced as a clear favorite. The market is it's a market respect question, pretty much. Next, we have Athletics at Giants. This is a bullpen trust game. Oakland's bullpen risk is real. Oracle Park has win questions, and full game markets can get ugly fast. We have Royals at Rays. It's a dome game, so less weather edge, but the market and total movement made it worth checking. We have Mariners at Pirates. Seattle has the obvious starter pitcher edge, but early games and lineup confirmation matter. Phillies at Nationals. We have Philadelphia has a clear starter edge with Christopher Sanchez over Cade Cavalli, but the full game money line is expensive enough that this becomes a price versus edge investigation. And the last game, we have Astros at Tigers. The starter ERAs look like a Detroit edge, but the market is close to pick 'em. It's exactly where we want to check hidden market respect. All right, again, no bets from the scan. The scan only tells us which games deserve the model. But this show, we're going to do it a little bit differently. I actually ran a model on every single game. Normally, I could only run on so much, but I actually had enough time to be able to get every single one of them. So we will actually go through each game, and I will tell you which one we will bet or pass. All right, so like I said, I ran the model on these games. The first one that came up was Yankees at Red Sox. The market read is important here. The Yankees' money line was not clean, sharp steam. The Yankees had about 88% of the bets and 87% of the money, so the move toward New York was mostly public aligned. The total was even more suspicious. It opened around 7.5 and moved to 8 with about 90% of the bets and 89% of the money on the over. That's real movement, but it is also extremely public. I do not want to chase over 8 after the move. The 50,000 game simulation projected the Yankees for 4.87 runs, Boston for 3.12 runs, and the total at 7.99. The Yankees' money line showed a model edge at 65.4% with a fair line around minus 189. But the full game Yankees side is public heavy and the bullpen layer is not clean. The best mispriced line was not Yankees' money line, it was Red Sox first 5 team total under 1.5 at minus 130. The model had Boston staying under 1.5 first 5 runs 63.2% of the time with a fair line around minus 172. The stress test still held up. If Schlittler is 15% worse than projected, the under drops to around 59%, which still clears the minus 130 break even. The disaster scenario is obvious. Boston gets a cheap Fenway base runner, then a 2-run shot. A 3-run first inning kills the first bet, but this bet avoids the Yankees' public money line, avoids chasing the public over, and avoids bullpen chaos because it is very. It is the only. It's just the first 5. So the final decision, we're gonna bet, baby. Red Sox first 5 team total under 1.5 at minus 130 or better. We're gonna use a half a unit size. All right, next game, Phillies at Nationals. The full game Phillies money line was public, not clean, sharp money. Philadelphia had heavy public support, and the price was already expensive. The real market move was the total. It opened 8.5 and dropped to 8, even with visible over interest. That usually means respected under money hit the opener, but once the number gets to 8, the edge is thinner. The first look like first 5 under 4.5, but after adding bullpen, weather, park factor, starter matchup, and fatigue, the better stress-tested bet became Phillies first 5 money line because tie equals push. The model had Philadelphia winning the full game 62.2% of the time. More importantly, it had the Phillies leading after 56.7% of the time in the first 5. Tied 17.6% and trailing only 25.7%. That push protection matters. Get that money back. The raw fair lines on Philly first 5 money line was around minus 215 to minus 220. After stress testing, the fair line landed around minus 175 to minus 185. The current line was minus 133. The disaster scenario is Sanchez giving up early hard contact, Cavalli repeating a strong previous look, and Philadelphia straining runners. But even if Sanchez is 15% worse, the bet still projects around a stress fair line of minus 178. That's enough cushion. Final decision, we're going to bet, baby. Phillies, first 5 money line. Tie equals push at minus 133, playable to minus 145. absolute ceiling around minus 155, and pass at minus 160 or worse. All right, next game, Cubs at Mets. The sharpest looking money was on the Cubs side. The Cubs had 56% of bets and 63% of the money, and the line moved toward Chicago. That is not massive steam, but it is real resistance against the Mets as the home side. The Cubs' run line had the louder money split, but that is not the cleanest way to bet it. The model likes the Cubs to win more than it likes them to win by margin. The 50,000 game simulation projected the Cubs for 4.89 runs, the Mets for 4.17, and the total at 9.07. Cubs money line hit 56.5% in the model with a raw fair line around minus 130. After stress testing Boyd risk, bullpen fatigue, and lineup concerns, the fair line came down closer to minus 118. That still leaves edge at Cubs minus 105 or minus 106. The disaster scenario is Boyd being shaky, Peralta bouncing back, and the Mets finally getting a lineup spark. If that happens, the Cubs' edge gets thin fast. That is why this price is sensitive. At minus 105, there is still enough value. At minus 115, the edge is mostly gone. Final decision, we're going to bet, baby. Cubs money line at minus 105 or better. We're going to use 3/4 of a unit. So, yep. Let's bet, baby. All right, next game, Diamondbacks at Cardinals. The model likes St. Louis slightly, but the market already priced most of that in. The sharp-looking signal was Cardinals minus 1.5, where the money percentage was much stronger than the ticket percentage. But the price around plus 155 to plus 160 was almost exactly where the model landed before stress. The Cardinals' money line was also thin. The model had St. Louis winning 57.3% of the time with a fair line around minus 134, but the market was already sitting around minus 125 to minus 135. The total was not clean either. Warm weather helped offense, but the over was crowded and already taxed. The stress test is what killed the bet. If McGreevy is 15% worse, Cardinals' money line drops to about 52.5%. If Gallen is 15% better than his ugly season profile, the Cardinals drop close to coin flip and add storm risk and full game uncertainty. There's not enough cushion. Final decision, we got to pass on this one. This is a model edge, not a true betting edge. Okay, next game, we've got Astros at Tigers. This was a tempting Detroit spot at first, but I reran this one and downgraded it a little bit. So the sharp-looking money appeared to be on Detroit, especially the Detroit run line, but the price did not give enough room after stress testing. The model projected Tigers 4.66, Astros 4.38, with a total around 9.04. Detroit money line hit 53.2%, which is only a fair line around minus 114. The current market was around minus 113 to minus 120, so there was no real edge. Detroit first five was also close, not strong. Tigers led after five around 44.5%, with the game tied about 18.5%. The stress test adjusted fair range was too close to the market. The total was also a trap zone and open 9 got pushed down to 8.5. Then the over got juiced. This is two-way market behavior, not clean steam. The disaster scenario is Imai's swing and miss showing up, Melton's low strikeout profile regressing, and this turning into a tighter 4-3 or 3-2 game. So the final decision is we've got to pass. It's a small model edge, no true betting edge. All right, next game, we got Athletics at Giants. The Giants' money line move was not clean, sharp steam. The line moved towards San Francisco, but the money split showed resistance on Oakland or Sacramento or Las Vegas, whatever the hell this team is supposed to be from. All right, full game Athletics was still dangerous because the A's bullpen has been a problem. This is the key to this game. Do not depend on the Athletics late. The 50,000 game simulation had the Giants winning full game 52.6% and Athletics 47.4%. No full game side. But the best edge was Athletics' first five money line, tie equals push. The current line was plus 135, the raw fair line was close to plus 100, and the stress adjusted fair line was around plus 126. The disaster scenario is Springs getting hit early and the Giants' right-handed bats punishing mistakes. If Springs is 15% worse, the edge gets in. If Roop is 15% better, the fair line moves near plus 128 to plus 130. But a plus 135, there's still enough value. So final decision, we're going to bet Athletics, first 5 money line, tie equals a push, so we can get that money back just in case. At plus 135, half a unit size, guys. Do not chase below plus 130. Next game, Rangers at Blue Jays. The cleanest edge was not the Blue Jays money line. Toronto was too public and too expensive. The total was the key market clue. It opened at 8, got bet down to 7.5, and then saw buyback. That tells us 8 is the valuable number, while 7.5 is the resistance number. The model projected Toronto at 4.18 runs, Texas for 3.62, and the total at 7.8. Under 8 won 51% of the time with 8.8% pushes. With the push protection included, the no push under probability was 55.9%. The fair line was about minus 127. At under 8, minus 118 to minus 120, that's playable. The disaster scenario is Gore walking hitters, Toronto stringing together contact, and bullpens entering too early. Bullpen fatigue is the biggest under concern late, but the dome or likely closed roof environment limits weather chaos. So the final decision is we're going to bet this one full game under 8 at minus 120 or better. Do not settle for a bad 7.5. So under 8. Make sure you get that push, get that money back. All right, next game, Mariners at Pirates. Sharp-looking money was on the Pirates. Seattle had most of the bets, but Pittsburgh had a stronger money percentage. The problem is the line movement did not fully confirm Pirates' steam. So Pirates' money line is only a model edge, not the official bet. The safer way to express the edge is Pirates plus 1.5. The model projected Mariners 4.53, Pirates 4.2, with a total of 8.73. Seattle won 53.7%, so the Mariners' money line was not worth laying. Pirates plus 1.5 hit 64.3% in the simulation, with a raw fair line minus 180. After stress testing Chandler walk risk and Miller dominance risk, the fair line dropped closer to minus 140 to minus 145. That means the price matters a lot. At minus 133, Pirates plus 1.5 is playable. At minus 145, the edge is gone. So the final decision is we're going to bet this one Pirates plus 1.5 at minus 133 or better, half a unit size. Pass at minus 140 or worse. All right, guys, and final game of the day, Royals at Rays. The Rays money line steam was real, but the price was already inflated. Tampa projected only 53.9% in the model with a fair line around minus 117, while the market was around minus 143. There's no value there. The sharper signal was the under buyback. The total opened near 8, got pushed to 8.5, but the public was on the over while stronger money showed resistance on under. Full game under still had model value, but bullpen fatigue made it more fragile. The cleanest edge was first 5 under 4.5. The model projected the Royals for 1.96 first 5 runs and Tampa for 2.12, giving a first 5 total projection of 4.07. First 5 under 4.5 hit 61.5% of the time, with a raw fair line around minus 160. After stress testing both starters, the fair range was closer to minus 130 to minus 135. The current line was minus 105. The disaster scenario is Leguima being inefficient, Lugo allowing early traffic, and the game reaching 2-2 or 3-2 by the 4th inning. But at minus 105, the cushion is strong. So the final decision is we are going to bet, baby, Royals and Rays first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105, playable to minus 115, pass at minus 120 or worse. Automatic pass if the number drops to 4, all right? All right, guys, and that's the slate for today. We are not here to force bets. We're not here to chase public favorites. We're not here to take every model lane, and we're not here to build parlays and hope one hits. We're here to find the spots where the number, the market, the model, and the stress tests all line up. The way we grow the account is with straight bets, controlled units, and discipline. Some days that means 2 bets. Some days that means 1 bet, and some days the best card is no card at all. All right, before you go, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to Edge Over Action, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next slate breakdown. Drop a comment with the game you wanted modeled next, or tell me if you're betting or passing with the card. Final reminder, I'm not responsible for anyone's losses. This is sports betting. There's risk in every play. Bet responsibly, protect the bankroll, and never bet money you cannot afford to lose. All right, guys, remember, we do not need action. We just need an edge. Have a good one.